Hello fellows, I'm Mark, and I'm the sales staff responsible for Middle East and European market in Holtek. Today, it's my honor to introduce you three new product topics: the safety and security, home appliance, and the IR proximity section. For now, let's move on to the next page. In safety and security section, it is one of the most important elements that surrounds in our daily life. Despite the new model published last year, Holtek keeps digging into perfection and extend more comprehensive product lines for all models. This year, we will show you the brand new Essence. In this chapter, there are three topics: the smoke alarm products, and the CO gas detector products, and PIR products. For now, let's move on to the smoke alarm products. Our new model could be used on various smoke alarm products, such as standalone, networking, and the boost types, which we will introduce later on. Our new model, the BA45F53 series, is building with the Smoke AFE that has OPA and filter for signal processing. Next, it has two channels of IR and constant current to prevent unstable voltage affection and temperature interference. Also, it's building with the piezoelectric horn driver that could save external component usage. As you can see, these models building with the serial interface, which could be used in NB-IoT or wireless connection function. For 50 and 60, both have built-in 16-bit DAC for voice alarm controlling function. For 60, it has temperature sensor that could prevent environmental affection and complete collaboration process. These models have up to 16K room size and 2K RAM size for your selection. Next, let's move on to the CO gas detector products. Our new model is highly integrated. First, it has built-in the CO gas AFE that has OPA and filter for signal processing. Next, it has built-in the temperature sensor that could prevent environmental affection and complete collaboration process. This model has two types, the I/O and the LCD type. These were the old model published last year. The 40 and 46 are for general purpose, and 42 and 48 are for calendar function. And these are the new models. The 50 and 56 are for voice alarm function, and 52 and 58 have both voice alarm and calendar functions. There are some difference between the new and the old models. The new one building with the 16-bit DAC for voice alarm controlling function, and also has an extra UR interface. Our new model, the BA45F67 series, it has built-in 16-bit DAC for voice alarm controlling function, and also integrates with the LDO inside. For 56 and 58, both have LCD driver for displaying. For 52 and 58, both have calendar functions. These models have up to 8K ROM size and 1K RAM size for your selection. Our new model, the BA4568 series, is building with the piezoelectric horn driver that could save your external component usage, and building with the serial interface. For 4.6 and 5.6, it has LCD driver for displaying. For 5.0 and 5.6, both have 16-bit DAC for voice alarm controlling function. These models have up to 8K ROM size and 1K RAM size for your selection. Our model could be used on various CO gas leakage detector products, which could be seen in the household or business buildings. Next, let's move on to the PIR products. Our new model, the BA456640. It has PIR AFE that has OPA and filter for signal processing. Next, it has a unique point, the auto conversion function. This allows MCU to use timer for ADC value collection, whereas others need to be controlled under programming. Next, is building with the temperature sensor that could prevent environmental affection and complete collaboration process. These models have 4K ROM size, 3A4 RAM size, and building with the serial interface for your selection. Our model could be used on various human body movement detection products. And this will be all for safety and security section. To sum up, for smoke alarm product, it has smoke AFE, 2 channel of IR and constant current. For CO gas product, it has built-in voice alarm controlling function, some model with LCD driver and calendar function. For PIR product, it has the auto conversion function that allows MCU to use timer for ADC value collection. Next, let's move on to the second topic, the home appliance section. In this chapter, there are 3 topics: the induction cooker MCU, the external driving atomizer module, and the digital water level sensor. For now, let's move on to the induction cooker MCU. The induction cooker is commonly used around the world, but how does it work? As you can see, when the current goes through the wire wheel, it will inspire magnetic force, which inspires the current to heat up the pot for cooking. Our model could be used on IH heating and related induction cooker products. We used to have old model, the 0058. It has 4K ROM size, 256 bytes RAM size, and has 1-wire programming function to simulate I2C. And our new model, the 0059. It has same memory size, but with extra LDO, hardware I2C to drive display panel, and building with the gate driver to drive IGBT. Our new model, the HT45F0059. It has 9-bit PPG to control heating power and has hardware frequency jittering function to pass EMI during high power operation. Next it has high voltage driver to IGBT to control charging circuit. Also, it has consecutive low heating power function to get the stuff well cooked. Coming up, let's move on to the second topic, the external driving atomizer module. Our model could be used on various humidifiers, diffusers, and related products. Actually, there are two types of atomizers, the external driving and the internal driving ones. The internal one has higher BOM cost but with better spec to pass EMI, whereas external one has opposite feature for comparison. Our new model, the BM5205221. It has water detection to power off when there's no water remained. Next, it has frequency control function to raise noise immunity to pass EMI. For VR mode, it could do spread adjustment without MCU, but for PWM mode, it will require MCU for the operation. This module has VR and PWM mode. The PWM mode requires MCU for spread adjustment, whereas the VR mode only needs variable resistor for the operation. This module has 1.7 MHz automation frequency, 24 volt operating voltage, missed output above 220 milliliters. Next, it has 13.5 above milliliter for the performance and has inner temperature less than 70 degrees Celsius. Next, let's move on to the digital water level sensor section. As you can see, this page will show how washing machine work with the digital water level sensor. When the drone contains the water, it will have pressure goes through the water pipe to the major board for detection. Then the PWM mode could detect frequency and transfer it into water level info. There are some difference between traditional and digital solution. As you can see, the traditional solution is analog signal that requires external component to process into digital signal, so its PCBA size is bigger, whereas the digital one does not require it. So it has higher noise immunity and lower BOM cost. This page will show the comparison between the digital and traditional solution. First, it has digital output. Next, it has auto collaboration, and users could do storage in a double EEPROM. Next, it has high accuracy and almost half-sized. Our new model, the BM62S3201-1 as digital output and -5 as frequency output. The -5 could replace traditional solution without modifying the PCBA and the software. These two modules has 0 to 1500 mm pressure range, 1 to 3% full-scale accuracy under 50 degrees Celsius. Next, it has 1 mm resolution for -1, 5 mm resolution for -5. Our model can be used on various water level detection products, such as washers, coffee machines, and so on. And this will be all for home appliance section. To sum up, for induction cooker MCU, it has consecutive low heating power function to get the stuff well cooked. For atomizer module, it has frequency control function to raise noise immunity to pass EMI. For water level sensor, we have frequency output to replace traditional solution without modifying the PCBA and the software. Next, let's move on to the last topic, the IR proximity section. You might be curious, how does IR sensing work? As you can see on the PCBA, it will launch IR rays for detection. While reflected by the object, it will know if there's any stuff around. In general, the visible light is 400 to 700 nanometers, whereas IR rate is 700 nanometer to 0.1 cm only. So that's the reason we can see through by our eyes. In this chapter, there are 3 topics: the proximity sensing MCU, proximity sensing module, and one-dimension IR gesture module. As the infection of COVID-19 is still affecting around the world, so we believe it is better to reduce hand-touch action. So we also believe the proximity is a good consideration for your usage. For now, let's move on to the proximity sensing MCU. Our new model, the BS4533 series. It has IR circuit that has OPA and filter for signal processing. Next, it has 2 channels of IR and constant current that could prevent unstable voltage affection and temperature interference. Next, it has touch key for extra function. Some models have wide operating voltage to fit battery product requirement. For 3.5 and 3.6, both have edge bridge to manage motors back and forth rotation. For 3.7, it has MOS to manage motors single direction. These models have up to 2K ROM size and 128 bytes RAM size for your selection. Our model could be used on various proximity sensing products, such as lightnings, mirrors, and so on. Next, let's move on to the proximity sensing module. As you can see, the 2021 was the product published last year, and the 2031 is a new product that has smaller size. Also, it has 3.3 to 5 volt operating voltage, detection distance up to 100 cm. It also has UR and IO port interface. Our new model, the BM32S2031. It has low power consumption to save energy usage. Next, it has learning mode for detection distance and also has great noise immunity. Our product could be used on various places such as mirrors, smart door lock, and so on. Next, we will move on to the one-dimension IR gesture module. This is the scenario to get the door open by censoring your hand, so you could do it without hand touch action. This page will show the distance that could be detected. The vertical distance is 30 cm as maximum between your hand and the PCBA. And the horizontal distance is 15 cm while sweeping your hand in the right and left directions. Our product could be used on various places, such as smart home devices, gaming controls, and so on. Our new model, the BM32S3021. It has the function to detect your hands by sweeping in the right and left direction with certain distance. And also, it has great noise immunity. This module has 3.3 to 5 volt operating voltage, operating current less than 3 milliampere, standby current less than 50 microampere. Next, it has UR and IO port interface and building with smaller size to fit your product requirement. And this will be all for IR proximity section. To sum up, for proximity sensing MCU, it has touch key as extra function, edge bridge, and MOS to manage motor's rotation. For proximity module, it has learning mode for detection distance. For IR gesture module, it has the function to detect your hands by sweeping in the right and left direction with certain distance. Since we have introduced the safety and security, home appliance, and the IR proximity sections, we hope these products bring your interest on Holtek. In case you have any questions, please feel free to reach us for further answers. Thanks for listening.